I think I had an idea of which schools I would be eligible for. I came into the process having a firm set of, say, six or schools that I knew would interest me. But I was really looking for an expert who could help guide me through that process and tell me about the possibilities that I might have at each school. I think essentially I wanted to make sure that I put my absolute best foot forward. I think ultimately it came down to my conversation with Michelle, and I just felt a certain rapport immediately that I didn't necessarily feel with other companies. For me, it was just the ability to be comfortable with someone that I knew I'd be working with pretty intimately, that I would be telling, all these stories and my goals and aspirations when it came to business school. And so that rapport with Michelle is what ultimately made me go with Fortuna. There was no pressure to sign up to a certain pre-package of a certain
Mhm.
number of schools. As I said, I was looking at somewhere around six schools, but I didn't think I didn't want to necessarily use coaching for all six. I knew one school
Sure.
very well, having grown up nearby. There was no pressure to say, oh, like, usually our clients do like a six school package and kind
Right.
of a push or a sell to do that. It was really, if we want to start with one school, we can do one school, we can escalate it from there. We can do three schools as a package, and then we can do hourly for a different one. Start out with the three or four schools that I thought I would need the most help with the ability to escalate to five or six if I needed to. But having no kind of push for me to sign up to six immediately was kind of just enabled me to be at ease. I think I just wanted an ability to know how to tell my story in a
Mhm.
way that would reflect the individual cultures of all the schools that we're looking at. They're all phenomenal institutions, regardless of where they are or what they hypothetically specialize in. Certain
Right.
schools have certain reputations for industry or for culture. And I think I just wanted a little bit of guidance in navigating my story to one, make sure that school was a good fit, but also be able to tell that story in a way that would not necessarily totally cater to the school.
Mhm.
That was not the point, but more just kind of reflect that I would belong at that school in my
I
essays,
understand.
reflect that I understand the culture, understand the dynamic that's present at the school, and therefore why my story and my approach and my personality would belong. It was more about crafting my story and having a very strong narrative that I felt that schools could adhere to. That was what I was concerned about. I came in with my tests done. I had confidence in my own writing ability, but it was nice to have somebody to just really streamline my story, my aspirations, and be able to tell it in a very convincing way. Because at the end of the day, that's what you have to do, right? Is convince these schools that you
Very much
understand
so.
your path. I think the initial call was amazing. She's very bubbly, very extroverted. It's something that I was looking for. I wanted somebody to bounce ideas off of who could be a soundboard and to just give me uh, very straight advice in a positive way. I think also her experience, having worked at one of these institutions, was a big signal to me. I wanted someone who was familiar, who'd been through the process before, who knew these essays in and out, knew the ways that they changed over the years. That to me was invaluable, but ultimately it was just a personality. I just felt that this was someone I was comfortable working with. And again, like sharing my aspirations, my
Yes.
career goals, and also those parts about myself that I want to reflect in the essay. She was very responsive,
Yeah.
always available, very transparent about when we might be able to talk or what we could talk about. So again, I think it's just that a dynamic that I had with her that really put me at ease and helped me through the process. I
Yeah.
felt a certain rapport with Michelle that I thought would be most effective in getting my story across. So I would encourage people to really not be afraid to say, I'm looking for this type of person, maybe this kind of background, or I'm looking for someone who helped me bring out this side of my application. But just as much as it is about your own story, you want a great partner in telling that story.